Welcome back. Nice to have you along on the journey. My name is Amanta Scott. I'm a Canadian artist working on an interactive art installation and social engagement project entitled Eyeing Medusa, celebrating wise and/or willful women making a difference in the world today, and exploring how the way we see women depicted in art relates to problems in today's society and facilitating change. Eyeing Medusa encompasses encaustic paintings, interactive sculpture installations, and online resources. You'll find lots of information here in my videos as I pull it all together, and also on my website, which is a little bit more comprehensive, amantascott.com. Remember, it's Amanta with a T. You'll notice that I address a lot of social issues through my work. Recently I was asked how I, as a self-identified settler person, have come to engage with these issues as an artist. I think that's a good question. In answer, I think, to quote the story of the scorpion and the frog, I'd have to say, because it is my nature. I've always been outraged by injustice, sexism, and racism, even as a little kid. I was raised with an appreciation for all world religions and philosophies, a poster with the words "Black is beautiful" on the living room wall, and a belief in the concept unity and diversity, which was carved on my grandfather's headstone. My ancestors were human rights activists during both world wars. Some of them perished in the concentration camps. Maybe it's genetic, I don't know, but all my life people have told me I am different. And I've had a few grisly experiences which I won't go into here, but suffice it to say, all of it provoked me to identify with people who are perceived as others. I've always graduated towards whatever other people aren't doing, looking at things people aren't seeing. I have a particular soft spot for First Nations issues because the first place I found real friendship was within their communities. You never forget love and kindness. And when your friends tell you about their experiences in foster homes or prison or residential school, or tell you about the effects of mercury poisoning in the water or black mold in their houses, and talk about the children in their communities committing suicide, it's all very real and relevant and personal. So yeah, I care deeply. And being me, when I realize that the majority of people don't seem to care or be thinking about this, that's when I get triggered and have to do something. And when, for the umpteenth time, I'm in a car with one of my black friends driving and we get pulled over by a couple of aggressive and scary cops when we've been doing absolutely nothing wrong, while the previous day my father has sailed blithely through a red light saying, "Wee!" and they just smile and basically wave him on. Yeah! I see privilege and racism, and it makes me mad. Personally, I don't have to worry about myself or my children being shot in the street for wearing a hoodie, or going for a run, or shot for sleeping in a car because of the color of my skin. But my friends do, and that's why I painted Patrisse Cullors, who started the movement Black Lives Matter. My project Parallel Lines was inspired by the memory of a story that haunted me for years. Jimmy, a young Cree man who I met at an elders conference in Curve Lake, told me that by age 16 he had lived in 14 foster homes. One day, convinced no one loved him, he was so depressed that he threw a shovel through a jeweler's window, figuring that at least he'd be wanted in jail. When I met him, he was in the process of rebuilding his life, recovering from substance abuse and the trauma of life in prison. Years later, during an artist residency where I was creating sculptures from discarded materials reclaimed from government buildings, Correctional Service of Canada offered me prison beds from the former Kingston Penitentiary for Women. At the time, I was coming to the end of an unhappy marriage, feeling imprisoned by my own life choices. When Correctional Service of Canada asked if I might be able to do anything with prison beds, I immediately thought of Jimmy and how both of us had effectively imprisoned ourselves through our own beliefs and choices. So I created the installation 15 Minutes of Fame, featuring a prison bed and a standard issue get-out-of-jail prison suitcase filled with objects with which visitors could interact to share their own stories. This was the work that kicked off Parallel Lines. Parallel Lines is an interesting project because it inspires people of all ages, social, economic, and cultural backgrounds to interact with the artworks and share their stories. Over the course of numerous exhibitions, I realized that I too had to share my story. And this is what led to Eyeing Medusa. I'll have to tell you that story in another video. Thanks for joining me today. See you next time.